recently made, and alongside where the engine stands now. So without further ado, let's get right into it. So currently, Stardust Engine is in a pretty good state. It's still in rapid development, obviously, but now we are at version 20W11, continuing to go on with that. Basically, I finished all the scene management and stuff like that. Alongside, I also did the profiling system, which is a major benefit to the entire engine itself, meaning that right now we are currently way ahead of schedule, and where we currently lie are that we are basically moving on to 20W14 features in the next, basically on Saturday, meaning that basically on 20W12 we'll be starting 20W15, meaning that we're about 3 weeks ahead of schedule. Given that, I'm still going to be working hard on this project, as it's going to be very useful, and I've also decided to integrate it into basically the Minecraft PSP project as well, because it could use some of the features that I also have built into this engine. It won't necessarily be using the same 2D and 3D logic, but it will definitely be using some of the more utilitarian type things, such as loggers, things like that. Logging, profiling, and possibly the UI system would be very convenient and very easy to use for this entire system, which is why I'm going to be basically trying to use that in order to make the game a lot faster and a lot better at what it does. Also, at some point, I also want to basically reinvent the input system for Stardust Engine, because that will also help with a lot of the things that we can do. This means that we can have basically the options, or we can have basically action listeners that listen to specific keybinds. Basically, these specific keybinds could be assigned to like a JSON file or something like that, and it would be pretty easy to use basically PSP control up, down, left, right, things like that, and bind them to specific actions in your game. And you could create these actions on the fly as you wish. These action listeners would then basically be called in some sort of handle events or handle actions, and basically would call a set of caller code, which is a kind of common theme right now with packet handler, network handler, so we would have something like an action handler to take care of that too, and that makes us a lot easier to do with the asynchronous processes. Furthermore, soon enough we're going to be starting rendering, 2D rendering and UI stuff, which will be pretty useful, and that should be probably, I imagine, in the next 2 or 3 weeks, and that would be pretty simple, and it will provide a very good baseline. We're also doing some of the testing with basically the PSP chat client, and we're still working out a few decoding bugs, specifically one with decoding strings. So with this in mind, we're projecting a earlier than expected Stardust release, even with the scripting engine and things like that, and it will probably be done actually more like the early summer, which is pretty useful and things like that. So with the recent coronavirus outbreak, I'm also out of school, so that's actually kind of useful, so I can put more time into projects and stuff like that, especially since I'm basically just taking online classes. So the prospects for Stardust Engine are looking pretty good, and I hope that it becomes a very good and useful engine in the future. So thank you guys for watching, please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys later.